What was your favorite movie as a child? Let's start the discussion. Comment below. The cool part about this question is there is no right or wrong answer, right? It's everyone's own personal experience. Let's sit down and talk about, hey, what's going on? My name is Earl. That's for you, Brad. My name is Earl. Welcome to this little discussion here. It's a beautiful night here. Recording at night. Got a fresh haircut. My wife finally cut my hair. She's tired of looking at me. And feels good. Feels good. All right. So I've had this discussion with my wife in the past, and you know, I love movies, and I grew up watching a lot more movies, and got away from them for a little while, but come back into them a lot in the last several years. And it's funny because me and her were the same age, but the movies we watched as children were a little bit different. Now, I was the oldest child, and she had two sisters that are older than her. And some of her favorite movies were something like, you know, she liked The Little Mermaid, Sandlot, which is a good movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like The Never Ending Story, things like of that nature, right? A little good movies, a little softer than what I'll probably going to say, because when I've told her I watched this movie as a lot, I mean, it's probably the movie I've watched the most in my life. She's like, "What? You watched that as a kid?" But you know, for me, I loved action movies. That was my thing growing up as a kid, and so I just like that kind of stuff. And nowadays, I don't really watch them as much. But I will tell you here, the movie that I watched the most as a kid was Predator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers, the whole, you know, that whole crew right there. Now, I've watched this movie it's probably like once a week, and I still remember, unless it's the Mandela effect, like I heard someone say one time, I'm pretty positive I stayed over my aunt and uncle's house and watched this movie with my uncle for the first time when it was on like HBO, when it would have came out, right? And when I look back at it, it either came out in 87 or 88, and I was born in 80. So I was probably like 8 years old when I saw this movie. Now, the thing about this is that, and one of the reasons we talk about what movies we watched as a kids is like, I really want to show my son this movie when he gets old enough. And you know, he's only 7 now, so it's not going to happen yet, but it's like, I can't wait till he's like 10. I keep saying that. When he's 10, the mom's a little more conservative on movies than I would be, probably. And she'll say that, like, because she doesn't want to have to deal with the nightmares. I get it. But I also remember, you know, as a kid, I really do remember this. My mom must have been out, and I was like really young, because I remember the setup of the house being different. Like, I was like maybe 6 years old. I don't know for sure, but I watched Conan the Barbarian with my dad at a young age, and I still kind of remember that. It's like one of my earliest childhood memories, because he let me sit on his lap. It was just cool, right? So obviously there's a bonding moment there, and don't get me wrong, my parents are really good parents, so don't think they just let me do anything. They had a lot of, they were fairly strict, so and I think I kind of turned out okay. I've never been a violent type of person, or, you know, which the movies, I was, I think, able to you know, tell it, these are just movies, right? This isn't what's real or not. And but it was funny, I remember like, I used to have like sticks that I'd collected in my backyard that were like guns, right? The weapons, I should say, that were used in like Predator. I had all different ones, right? And I was like, this is the one that Hawkeye had. This was the one that I had, this big one, and Jesse Ventura's character, I can't think of his name at the moment, but he has that big like chain type of. You know, the action movies I watched. So I remember we'd go to this movie store. You know, that was a thing right back in the day. It was, you go to the video store on Friday, you get a couple movies for the weekend, you have to return it, right? And my dad would be looking at the new movies, and whatever he's gonna watch, and I would always go to the action section, like to see what I could watch next. And of course, in those days I liked Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like I watched Bloodsport a lot. Hey, Rollo, come here. Rollo, come here. Come on up here. I watched Bloodsport. Come here. No. Rollo. Sorry, guys. Rollo, come. No, you're not going downstairs to bark at people. Come on. You can come up here and hang out. And the Bloodsport was one of the ones I rewatched that one again, and I've seen it again. It's kind of, it has its cheesy moments. However, I really do think Predator still holds up, because when I've watched that again, still as an adult, I still think it's an awesome, awesome movie. And that's why I'm like, I can't wait to show my son that one. And watch, you probably like, this is lame or something. Now, I don't see that happening. But yeah, when I was a kid, Arnold was the man. Conan the Barbarian was cool, right? What else was he in? Commando, like, of course, and the Terminator movies eventually, when Terminator 2, I should say, as I got a little older. And but also there was a big time of the action stars back in the 80s, right? 80s, early 90s maybe even. And who else? I liked the Chuck Norris Mission in Action, because I always just seemed to like the ones that had the cooler weapons, right? They're just cool. And that was just as a kid. I'm not like fascinated with those type of things nowadays. I could care less, to be honest with you. But and it's funny because the action movies nowadays, to me, they don't do it like they used to as a kid. I guess as a kid, I just wanted mindless action nonsense, right? And because I've watched these John Wick movies, and they're good action movies, but I kind of actually I don't want to say they're bad movies, because I know there's a lot of people who love them, but like after a while nowadays, I'm just kind of like, all right, here we go again, and it's I don't know, I enjoy more, I like thrillers nowadays, a good thriller, and make you kind of think. Not horror movies, but like a thriller, you know what I'm saying? That's probably one of my favorites, of course, and nowadays, and then just a good movie that makes you think, right? Like something like Interstellar. Like those are one of those movies that after you watch it, you're like, oh my goodness. You kind of I think about a lot of things. But anyway, so kind of got off on a little tangent there. But yeah, so growing up, that's what I kind of loved. And it's funny because, like I said, we've had conversations about this, the different types of things we've watched, right? Like I said, and that's one of the things we get to do nowadays with the family. Like I like to take them out to, or when I could afford it or get gift cards, we go to the movies. I enjoy that, and in the house, watching movies. I got a nice little stereo that it sounds good, and it's just, to me, it's a fun thing, or it's kind of cool to me to show them movies, the kids, for the first time, because we watched with them Honey, I Shrunk the Kids recently. They like that. We watched The Sandlot with them. I want to watch Kindergarten Cop, but I realize that's PG-13. And so that one's not there yet. And there's a few other movies that we've watched that. Oh, E.T. It was funny because with E.T., as a kid, at like Disney World when I was 4. My mom has pictures. I don't remember being in Disney World, but I'm in the picture where E.T.'s going over the moon with a basket. I'm in the basket, like in the picture, from Universal Studios or wherever we were in California when I was 4 years old. Well, how's everyone else been? I think I talked a lot about movies there. Like I said, it's a beautiful night out. It's been hot. It's been hot for sure, and and everywhere you go is pretty hot. Fires, the air is bad, right, and whatever. But yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've recorded, and had the 4th of July, and I just didn't do much then. 4th of July, the wife went out to Vegas. I got to hang out with the kids for a few days, and we went to pools, and I did take them to movies, but I took a movie, like Minions movies. All right, but yeah, I've been really busy. Just busy with life, and there's other things in my life, future, that I'm thinking about now that I'm trying to work on. like job-wise, right? So things that keep me busy there. And then there's always my recovery, right? Staying sober is always a daily thing. Daily thing. But I have worked. There's Rollo. Hey, Rollo, you want to say hi to everybody? What's up, buddy? He's a little being camera shy, I think. No, and got a rug. I actually want to put a little work into and flowers. They're doing all right. Have to water them a lot with the heat. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So this video is about the movies we watched as children, our favorite ones. I'm sure there's a few more, because like the videotapes when we were kids, right? Well, when I was kids, you know, we had like, my dad would record everything off of whatever. And you know, he had like a tape that would have regular, like SP I think it was, and then SLP, which was super long play. So like you can fit like 3 movies on these 2-hour tapes, right? Or so the 2-hour tapes would turn into 6-hour tapes. If you're my age or older, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you could record, and I remember like there was 3 different movies on. Now if I could remember what 3 movies were on that tape that I watched over and over and over again, that'd be funny. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. I can probably gotta shut this off before it gets dark and can't see anything. Till next time.